Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. President Trump has ordered a pause in intelligence sharing with Ukraine, according to CIA Director John Ratcliffe. This deprives Ukraine of a key tool in fighting the Russians. This comes after the U.S. suspended the shipment of weapons earlier this week after the contentious meeting with the Ukraine president in the Oval Office. The U.S. has shared intelligence with Ukraine since the early months of the war, allowing Ukrainian forces to target Russian forces more effectively. A White House official said that the U.S. had paused military aid to Ukraine until Trump is satisfied that Zelensky is making a good faith effort to engage in negotiations to stop the war. On Tuesday, Zelensky posted on X that he would sign the minerals deal that President Trump has asked for, but that apparently hasn't been enough to reverse the decision on halting military assistance. While Ukraine produces and purchases its own drones, which provide battlefield visibility, it depends on U.S. military and signals intelligence, along with other data to conduct operations. In a major policy shift, the Trump administration is moving to revoke temporary legal status for 240,000 Ukrainians who fled the war with Russia, potentially fast-tracking their deportation. The move, expected as soon as April, is part of a broader effort to roll back Biden-era humanitarian parole programs, affecting more than 1.8 million migrants, including Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. A January 20th executive order directed the Department of Homeland Security to terminate these programs, though DHS officials have yet to make a formal announcement. The decision comes amid rising tensions between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky. President Trump has announced a one-month tariff exemption for automakers. This news helped the Dow Jones Industrial Average gain back some of its most recent losses. Meanwhile, Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke Wednesday on tariffs with no apparent breakthrough in the trade tensions between the two countries. In a social media post Wednesday afternoon, Trump told the Canadian Prime Minister that Canada's efforts to stop the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. weren't good enough. However, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick hinted at a possible compromise involving exemptions for some products. Regarding tariffs, President Trump suspended most new tariffs on Mexico until April 2nd. Your morning coffee is about to get more expensive. The price of wholesale Arabica beans has soared past $4 per pound, doubling in just a year, with retail prices for ground coffee hitting a record $7 per pound in January. Experts say weather disasters in Brazil and Vietnam, the world's top coffee producers, have caused significant crop shortages, pushing prices higher. Supply chain challenges and a new European Union law restricting coffee linked to deforestation could tighten supply even further. Despite rising costs, coffee remains an essential purchase for many, with J.M. Smucker CEO Mark Smucker noting that consumers continue to buy it regardless of price hikes. With no clear substitute for coffee, industry analysts warn that the price surge is likely to continue, meaning your daily caffeine fix will cost you more. Daylight saving time begins this weekend on March 9th, meaning clocks will spring forward 1 hour, and sunrise will shift to 7:08 a.m. while sunset extends to 6:47 p.m. The extra evening sunlight is a welcome change for many, but it also means losing an hour of sleep. Daylight savings time will end on November 2nd. First enacted in 1918 as a wartime fuel-saving measure, daylight savings time was made federal law in 1966 and later extended in 2007 to its current schedule, running from March to November. The goal is to maximize daylight during warmer months. While most U.S. states follow the change, Arizona and Hawaii do not participate. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
Hi, I'm Tom Lyons, a retired captain from the Quincy Fire Department and the author of the book Fighting Fire, A Proactive Approach. Cooking is the leading cause of home fires. Unattended cooking is the leading cause of these fires and related deaths. Therefore, keep a close eye on your cooking. If you must leave the kitchen, bring a utensil with you as a reminder of your efforts. Set a timer for food taking longer to cook. Turn pot handles towards the back of the stove. Keep a lid nearby when cooking. If a small grease fire starts, slide the lid over the pan and shut off the burner. You can take an active role in your safety. Cooking safety starts with you.
Welcome back. The Braintree School Committee held their public hearing on Monday, March 3rd to get input on the school's redistricting plan. During the meeting, a number of parents, students, teachers, and local officials made statements in opposition of closing the Ross and Highlands schools. Superintendent Jim Lee gave a rundown of all the options available to the town and what the school committee narrowed down their final decisions to. Here's more from the meeting.
So back in January, Sanborn came out to community forums with a number of different options to be considered. The first was business as usual, meaning change nothing, just keep everything the way it was. 1B was close no schools but redistrict the entire town. 2A was close Highlands and Ross. Old South would open and the redistricting of the north section of town would occur. 2B was Highlands and Ross would close, Old South opens. Again, redistrict the north, but in this case, also redistrict the south. 2C, Highlands and Ross close, Old South opens, redistrict the north and south partially. Option 3, Highlands closes, Old South opens, redistrict the north and south partially. 6A, Liberty and Ross close, Old South opens, redistrict the north. 6B, Liberty and Ross close, Old South opens, redistrict the north and the south. As you might be able to see on the slide, there's a red box that indicated some new options which had been requested from the school committee. So although no decisions have been made, 3 options were identified as the most favorable by the school committee and will be discussed in greater detail this evening. Option 1B, no school closure, redistrict the whole town. Option 2C, Highlands and Ross close, Old South opens, redistrict the north and the south partially. And option 3, Highlands closes, Old South opens, redistrict north and south partially.
On Tuesday, the town council convened where they discussed the prior night's school committee meeting and the redistricting plan. Since the school committee will be meeting every Monday for the remainder of the month to further discuss this plan, members of the council asked them to hold off on making any decisions as the MSBA needs advance notice if a school were to close. Councilor at Large Shannon Hume is also a member of the School Buildings Committee and shared some updates on the process as well. Here's more from Councilor Hume.
We got an update on that last night. So the district has been in touch with MSBA, as has been stated before, and almost every single one of our schools, with the exception of Inadequate, which is obviously closed now, has in some form or another received benefit funding from MSBA, which is a partnership with the town. Part of that partnership is we will accept the funds knowing there's a 20 to 50 year useful life of each of the properties. So MSBA stated in the meeting Friday that Braintree's not alone in the fact that we're looking to consolidate, close some schools, and they're willing to work with us. That does not by any means may mean that we're not going to have to pay some portion back, but what that's going to look like in the future, we don't know. Mike Edsmans, our Director of Municipal Finance, was at that meeting as well and spoke about some of the things last night at School Building Committee, but MSBA does need a 6-month lead time for the district to tell them if we are planning to close a school, and then they will come back with some numbers on what that may look like. But as of right now, there's no like, this school's going to cost us this much if we close. There will be some payback involved, but if you consider some of the maintenance costs and the other expenses that are going into these buildings, what the offset's going to be, it's definitely a moving target, so that's a factor that will play. Once there's some more information, I asked that the school committee hold off on that, on taking a vote on closing because of that, and then that's when more information was presented about the MSBA meeting. So they need 6 months. So Not that anybody's, well, I'll leave it at that. But they do need that time in order to make some decision for the school year. It would have to be 6 months. But stay tuned. The more I have some more information, I'll let you know. And obviously Mayor Joyce and Director Edmonds as well. Thank you.
To watch either meeting in its entirety, check out BCAM TV's government channel, Comcast Channel 8, and Verizon Channel 26 on youtube.com/bcamtv or on our website at www.bcam.tv. The Sun Will Rise Foundation is teaming up with the Boston Backpack Project to support local families in need. Community members can donate items like clothing, toiletries, or snacks by dropping them off at 541 Washington Street in Braintree, now through Friday, March 28th. For those unable to donate physical items, monetary contributions can be made via Venmo to the username @thesun-will-rise. The partnership aims to provide much-needed supplies to families facing hardship, and organizers are encouraging local communities to help make a difference. The American Red Cross is asking Braintree residents to help save lives by donating blood at the Braintree Community Blood Drive on Monday, March 17th. The event will take place at the Braintree Moose Lodge, located at 175 West Howard Street, from noon to 5 p.m. To schedule an appointment, donors can call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcrossblood.org and enter Braintree. As an added incentive, those who donate in March will receive a $10 Amazon gift card by email. Braintree's Department of Elder Affairs is offering a variety of activities for residents 60 years and older. Recurring events include Bingo Size, the 10-week program, which is held every Tuesday and Friday at 11:30 a.m., pool sessions on Thursdays at 12:30 with Kathy, and Friday movie screenings at 1 p.m. Special events include the start of a cornhole league on March 10th at 11:30 a.m. For $10 on March 15th, the center will have Irish music and a boiled dinner at noon, and bingo on March 19th at 1 p.m. For more information or to sign up, call the department at 781-848-1963 after 9:30 a.m. Curtain Call Theater in Braintree is set to light up the stage with the hilarious musical Something Rotten in March 2025. The show, which features two rival brothers taking on none other than William Shakespeare in their bid to create the world's first musical amidst the backdrop of the Renaissance, Black Plague, and Puritans, will perform on March 7th, 8th, 14th, and 15th at 8 p.m., with matinee shows on March 9th and 16th at 2 p.m. Tickets are $35 and are available for purchase online at curtaincallbraintree.org. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
Hi, I'm Tom Lyons, a retired captain from the Quincy Fire Department and the author of the book Fighting Fire, A Proactive Approach. Home fire deaths have been cut in half since the early 70s when smoke detectors were first marketed. Having smoke detectors in your home can double your chances of survival in a fire. 60% of residential fire deaths occur in homes without smoke detectors. Thus, smoke detectors must be present on each level of habitation. Photoelectric smoke detectors are required within 20 feet of a kitchen, bath, or shower. They are required on the ceiling outside bedrooms no further than 10 feet away. They are also required to be present on the ceiling at the base of stairwells. Additional placement may be required depending upon the year the home was built or when a substantial addition was added. Create a safe home environment. Maintain your smoke detectors. Thank you for doing so.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. Massachusetts residents frustrated with skyrocketing energy bills are getting some relief as state regulators take action to cut costs. The Department of Public Utilities rejected the size of the proposed Mass Save Plan, reducing it from $5 billion to $4.5 billion to ease the financial burden on customers. While still larger than the previous $4 billion plan, the $500 million cut means gas and electric customers will see reduced rates. Utility companies will also be required to list the energy efficiency surcharge as a separate line item on gas bills, as it already appears on electric bills. Energy costs have soared since 2023, with electricity delivery rates up over 30% and gas rates increasing by as much as 38%, far exceeding inflation. A Weymouth mother is bringing comfort to families with premature babies through her nonprofit, Caroline's Closet. Megan Block started the initiative after her own daughter, Caroline, was born at 34 weeks and spent time in the neonatal intensive care unit. Block remembers the moment her husband told her that a nurse had brought their baby an outfit, marking the first time Caroline had worn clothes instead of just a swaddle. That small act inspired Block to help other families by stocking local NICUs with baby clothes. Since 2020, Caroline's Closet has provided 5,000 outfits to families at South Shore Hospital, Mount Auburn Hospital, and soon Massachusetts General and Boston Medical Center, offering a sense of normalcy during difficult times. A multi-car crash at a busy Quincy intersection Wednesday morning prompted a large emergency response and sent one driver to the hospital. Police say the rollover crash happened just after 7:15 a.m. at Adams and Beale Streets, involving at least 3 vehicles. Video from the scene showed a white SUV flipped on its side on a crosswalk, with 2 other damaged vehicles being towed away. The extent of the driver's injuries has not been released, and the cause of the crash remains under investigation. A Dorchester man was arraigned in Quincy District Court Tuesday on charges of receiving stolen property and identity fraud, but his arrest is linked to a larger case involving gangs, kidnapping, torture, and a stolen Rolex watch. Prosecutors say 32-year-old Brian Cardoso was identified in surveillance footage using a kidnapping victim's credit card to buy sneakers in Boston. The victim told police he was abducted from his Quincy apartment parking lot on February 27th, beaten with a gun, and tortured in a Saugus garage. His $30,000 Rolex watch and thousands in cash were stolen, with his wife reportedly throwing a bag of money off their apartment balcony in a desperate attempt to end the ordeal. While Cardoso is currently only charged in connection to the stolen credit cards, police say they are still searching for 4 other suspects. Cardoso, who was already on probation in a federal case, was taken into custody by U.S. Marshals on a federal detainer. He is due back in Quincy District Court in June. The MBTA has announced service changes in March to support critical upgrades on the Orange and Red Lines, as well as projects at the Mathaway, Mystic Avenue Bridge, Bowdoin, and North Station. For Braintree residents, the most notable impact will be on the Red Line, where service between the JFK UMass stop and Braintree will be suspended on the weekends of March 8th and 9th, 22nd and 23rd, and 29th and 30th, with free shuttle buses providing alternate transportation. Commuters are also encouraged to take advantage of fare-free service on the Middleborough, Kingston, and Greenbush commuter rail lines for travel between Braintree, Quincy Center, JFK UMass, and South Station. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in entertainment and sports. Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now here's Chris Curran with the latest on Braintree High sports.
Braintree girls basketball beat Shrewsbury handily in the round of 32, 50-42, but go on to have a tougher game in the round of 16, only beating Needham by 5, 52-47. Let's see highlights from the Needham game. This is Braintree's 3rd time playing Needham this season. Braintree had beaten them twice in the regular season, by 4 in their first meeting and by only 2 in their second. It's hard to beat the same team 3 times in one season. You could see that both teams had picked up on each other's tendencies and played good defense. The first quarter ended 13-10 Braintree. Braintree then picked it up in the second quarter, ending 27-16, only allowing Needham to score 6 points. In the third quarter, Braintree opened up the scoring more, making it 40-31. Needham was able to score 16 in the fourth quarter, getting the game within 2 at one point. but Braintree was able to hold them off, getting the win by 5. They go on to have another home game on March 7th against the 5th seed Woburn Memorial. Woburn Memorial beat 28 seed New Bedford by 25 and the 12th seed Bridgewater Raynham by 9, so Braintree has their work cut out for them. While the boys also had a good showing in the round of 32, beating Lexington by 14, 79-65, but also had a tough-fought defensive game against Andover in the round of 16 that they only won by 2, 43-41. Let's see highlights from that Andover game. The first quarter of this game was low scoring, with the game stuck at 8-5 for a lot of it. It ended 10-8. The second quarter was much of the same, with both teams only scoring 11 points each, ending the half 21-19. Andover was hanging in the game with their three-pointers. They also took the lead at the end of the third quarter, coming out with a 1-point lead, 34-33. Andover's three-pointers stopped falling in the fourth quarter. This quarter really slowed down the game for both teams. With 4 minutes left, the game was tied 37-37. After 2 minutes, the game was still tied, with both teams scoring 4 each, making it 41-41. Braintree then had a pair of free throws to go up, and another pair of free throws to extend the lead to 2 for the win. Braintree goes on to play at the 3rd-seeded Newton North on the 7th. Newton North beat the 42nd-seeded Cambridge Ringe and Latin by 14 and the 14th-seeded Marshfield by 3. The girls versus Woburn Memorial will be live on BCAM and play throughout the week. The boys' game will be taped to air throughout the week. You can catch these games at BCAM TV at Comcast Channel 9 or 1073 for HD, Verizon Channel 28 or 2128 for HD, our YouTube channel BCAM TV, or our website bcam.tv. Let's send it back to Martha in the studio.
Thanks, Chris. Now this weekend in entertainment, we have 3 recommendations for you to watch. Up first, for all of those who did not see Wicked while it was in theaters and those who did not purchase a digital copy yet, you'll be happy to know that Wicked will be available to stream for free on Peacock on March 21st. The sing-along version will also be available to stream as well. Wicked will be available to purchase or rent on digital platforms like Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, Fandango at Home, Comcast, Xfinity, and Cox. You can also purchase the DVD and Blu-ray copy of the movie, which was released on February 4th. Up next, Snow White. Disney's musical live-action adaptation of one of Disney's most famous stories, directed by Mark Webb and starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, young Snow White joins forces with the 7 dwarfs to liberate her kingdom from her cruel stepmother, the Evil Queen. You can see Snow White in theaters on March 21st. And finally, Amazon presents The Wheel of Time Season 3. The Wheel of Time follows 5 young men on a journey, believing one of them might be the reincarnation of the dragon, a powerful individual prophesied to save the world or destroy it. Season 1 and 2 are already streaming on Amazon Prime. Meanwhile, Season 3 will start streaming on Thursday, March 13th. That'll do it for news today. Remember, if you're a customer of Verizon, you can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128. You can also now see us in high definition on Comcast on channel 1073. I'm Martha Konstandinidis, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.